What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of KozMatt Wrestling Recap. Let's get right into a very entertaining episode of Monday Night Raw, the first one after Night of Champions. What did you think of
Oh,
this
I
match?
was I was ready to dance throughout the whole show. It was honestly really greatly booked.
Oh, absolutely.
It was really good, Like we could see like the new era of stars, the phenomenally new talented era of stars compared to the storylines today. And you know what? I love how they're just kind of connecting everything together. And I think it's the best booking we've had in quite some time, especially after WrestleMania. Now, tonight just completely just was chaotic, especially Money in the Bank coming up. They stole the show there in Albany, New York. The way they opened it up with Seth Rollins, the new world heavyweight champion, defeating AJ Styles on Saturday at Night of Champions in Jeddah. The crowd was feeling it, dude. And you know what? I am so pumped for this. I thought it was going to be AJ, right? Because Seth was on a tour with Hollywood, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, I don't know if he's going to be able to do this. I thought they were going to pull a fast card and go AJ, but Seth Rollins, he was the right pick, and the crowd was so far behind him. Judgment Day come out. I wasn't expecting this at all. You know what I mean? There was no fighting, and the announcers just kind of started running down the card as Ricochet makes his way to the ring. So I think this is going to be our main event. I mean, AJ and Seth play a wild card, put Seth on Raw. Screw it, man. I thought it was great, especially come his loss. I like the team of Seth and AJ.
Oh, absolutely. You know what? Occasionally, bring some stars over from SmackDown, put them on Raw, vice versa. I thought it was a great way to start off the show. And you know what? They were putting some pretty good heat on Dom. I thought it
Mm.
was hilarious. Picking
Yep.
up the Judgment Day. So the crowd was behind this, and we have a new world heavyweight champion, man. I love it all the way around.
Indeed, a fighting new world heavyweight champion.
Oh, it's
Now
so
the
nice,
next
isn't
the
it?
next segment, it was actually, what was it, a Money in the Bank qualifier?
Yes, sir.
Yes, it was. It was Miz and Ricochet, right? Now, Miz, everybody's been kind of trolling Miz lately, basically saying he just hasn't been, I don't know, get himself back on track and give us good wrestling matches. And that's exactly what he did. Ricochet and the Miz. You know, however much I want the Miz to be in the Money in the Bank ladder match, when it comes to Ricochet, he's going to take it off the cake, and that's exactly what he did. He took the W, perfect call. But Miz, actually, he used a few new moves in his tool set, in his arsenal tonight. I was watching, but I turned away quickly before I saw anything. But it was all over social media, so just if you watch that match, phenomenal.
Oh, absolutely. You know what? This is the right call, like you said. Shinsuke being in the Money in the Bank ladder
Mm,
match. I can only imagine some of the moves we're going to see him pull off.
mm.
It's going to be awesome. But
Yeah,
the
of course.
put over some good talent, it is what it is.
Yeah, yeah, no, I know. I get it. I get it. But you know what? I enjoyed it. Inda Share. Okay, when that comes to mind, you
Yeah.
think of the new tag team, I guess you could say, in WWE.
What do you say after a
Jinder
week
Mahal,
ago? You'd
Veer, and
rather watch
Sangha,
paint dry?
uh, versus just two random jobbers, whatever. I don't care. Hopefully, Inda Share can hopefully put a dart on the bulletin and actually make a name for themselves. You know what I mean? But let's move forward. Hopefully, Raw can book them better. But we'll see. I wish it was not a jobbers match. Just made me not care nonetheless. But what made me care, Trish Stratus coming out giving a promo actually about beating Becky Lynch at Night of Champions, bringing out the lady who helped her secure the wins, always Stark from NXT, fresh from NXT. Lynch comes out, challenges Trish to another fight, taking out, I think it was Zoe Stark in the ring. Excuse me, yes, it was Zoe Stark in the ring, and then Trish came down, and it just was chaos. But you know what? I do like Becky Lynch being beaten down, especially after her loss, because it's going to become a bigger return, I guess you could say, for her when she comes back on top. But nonetheless, some good stuff with those ladies.
Absolutely. I really loved how this played out on Saturday.
Hmm.
You got to get some new talent involved somehow. I thought the pairing of Zoe Starks and Trish Stratus was absolutely phenomenal. And what a way to build up a young lady on Monday Night
Hmm.
Raw. Pair her up with Trish
I
Stratus.
agree.
I see big things in her future.
I do too. I do too. And the way our next segment culminates, pairing up these tag teams together, Sami Zayn and KO out, especially hot coming off of their win Night of Champions against Roman and Solo Sikoa, excuse me, interrupted by Imperium. This is a cool call. Seeing Imperium, you know, in this title scenario, I guess you could say. It would be cool if they took the titles off them sooner than later, but we'll get to that. Jokes are on Alpha Academy who come out next. It was just, oh, it was so great.
I love
So
him. I
great.
really do.
Got Gable trolling Vinci, and it was awesome. It
Shoes,
really
shoes
was.
to
So
the
we got a tag team match, right? Alpha Academy and Imperium. Imperium took the W. It was a good call, but Otis and Gable, they just gave it all, and it was so good.
Yeah, you know what? You need segments like this, little
Yeah,
high heat jabs. Chad Gable deserves, man. He deserves to be in that main event scene. He just puts everyone over, makes everyone look great in the ring. And
he he's just something else.
now
I don't know. I don't know what the name is, but he's definitely main roster and world champion material, hopefully in the future. But they got to think about it.
speaking about champion, who do you think is going to be next for that Intercontinental Championship?
We'll get to that. We'll get to
Okay,
that.
stay
Yep.
tuned. Stay tuned, guys.
All right. Women's tag team fatal four-way match. Cool. The tag team titles were on the line. Raquel and Shotzi defending against Ronda Rousey, Shayna, Bailey, and Io Sky. A little bit better. Sonya Deville and Chelsea Green. It was just I love them two paired up, but Chelsea Green's got to wake up a little bit and stop being a little bit bitchy, I guess you could say, and wimpy out. But it was a good match. Shayna Baszler and Ronda, they got the W here. They're the new women's tag team champions. Eh, nah, I'm not feeling it, dude.
Um, I guess they're keeping the titles hot and relevant. There's something about this division. There's not really one women's tag team that really stands out to me that's like, oh, they could have a dominant reign. Just seems like it could keep going hot potato.
Mm,
But I enjoy that they're putting the titles on TV and they're trying to make them more relevant. Something's just got to happen with one of these teams to make them stand
yeah,
out, though.
yeah, no, I agree. Absolutely. I don't know. We'll see. I know they won't be champions for too long, but we'll see how it plays out. Now, the way that this next segment played out, I think this is why Raw was just so good. We get the love on our new superstars, and it was JD McDonough versus Dolph Ziggler. Basically, Dolph Ziggler rushed JD when the bell rang, but McDonough just snapped the rope, hit him with a suplex, took him outside, threw him over the announcer's table, hit him on top of steel steps, and just basically they were both eliminated via double count out. But I do like this new side of JD McDonough, especially coming on Raw. He needs some scare to him, and I think that's exactly what we got. And especially next, we have I think it was the next Money in the Bank men's qualifier match, Bronson Reed and Shinsuke Nakamura. Before we get to that match, Cody Rhodes comes out with, of course, his arm still in a sling after losing to Brock Lesnar at Night of Champions, saying he didn't tap out because that is not the man he wants. Simply, basically, then challenging Brock Lesnar to another match. If he says no, he's basically scared of Rhodes. That's what Cody sees in his eyes with the Beast. But it was great. I'm up for a rematch, I guess, just because they've been putting on good shows. We come back from quick commercial break and we see Reed and Nakamura. Phenomenal matchup. It really was a good match. Money in the Bank spot is now secured by Shinsuke. So it's Shinsuke and Riddle. We'll see who else qualifies. This is a good year for Money in the Bank, especially with talent.
Oh, them going over to England, man, it's going to be a great event. And the Money in the Bank ladder matches are always
Mm.
some of my favorite matches, both the men's and the women's. And someone's got a guaranteed title shot almost.
Yep.
And it's going to be interesting to see who pulls off the victory.
Now, I want to bring up something before we get closer to our main event. There has been a lot of talk about Tommaso Ciampa backstage on Raw, and apparently that was true, but they were going to use him tonight, but they didn't end up using him for anything. So don't get your hopes up for our main event here. But I don't know. I don't know what that hype was about, but he's backstage. Hopefully he's returning soon. You know what I mean? Hopefully all is well with his health. But he's gonna kill it, and maybe he'll go after Gunther. I'm not really sure. But speaking of Gunther, before we go to our main event, Matt Riddle backstage, right? And it was Gunther who just randomly came up to him and said, I want you to win the Money in the Bank match so you can cash in on me, supposedly.
Oh boy.
Right? Yeah, oh boy. I don't know. That's a good way to start a feud, but I don't want Riddle to win the Money in the Bank. I think we all know who we want to win. But just give us Riddle
Yeah,
and Gunther without the Money in the Bank, whether or not Riddle loses it or wins it. Just give us a title match.
absolutely. I'm here
Mm,
for it.
yeah, I think so. That would be a great match between those two. Great match. Main event time, right? Judgment
Here we
Day
go.
versus AJ and Rollins, the world heavyweight champion. Oh, it feels good saying that. So we actually were given Priest and Finn, Dominic supposedly started the match, and then Finn Balor led a sneak attack to start the match, and Dominic left the ring and was shadowed by Rhea Ripley, of course. Thought it was going to be Dom in action tonight, but it wasn't. And nonetheless, I can't complain. I really can't. Finn and Priest just, they work so well together. Now, what actually happened, Dom and Rhea had a small impact on the match. It wasn't anything annoying, but they weren't interfering as they usually do. It actually backfired, and Rollins was able to pick up the win for his team with a stomp. And his Styles posed with Rollins, and it looked good. It felt good. We saw some damn good wrestling tonight, dude.
Oh, absolutely. And you know what? We're going to be at the show live next week, so I can hope we continue to see more of the same. I thought the way they ended the show with Judgment Day taking on AJ and Seth was absolutely great. Tell me that new championship doesn't look great around Seth Rollins' waist.
It does, but we're already thinking who's next, and we didn't get a snippet at that yet, but hopefully within the next coming weeks, we certainly will.
One thing's for sure, KozMatt will have you guys covered on everything that you need to know on Monday Night Raw and SmackDown, and we will see you guys next time. Until then, peace out. This has been KozMatt. Thanks for watching.